Scott Hilton, Scott Talks. Today I'm at Lowe's. A rainy day in Ocala, Florida, Lowe's. It comes and goes, the rain does. It's summertime, that's what happens. Got this great stuff that I really need, and I was going to show you guys. I got the little brushes. I had some a long time ago, and I think my wife acquired them, so I had to get some more. You know how that is. Brass, nylon, and stainless steel, great for cleaning things, but you know, you can use the plastic nylon. It's a little safer if you need to get in there and work on something that, especially that has a battery touching it. Got little things like a electric nose hair trimmer that doesn't want to work. You get in there and you scrape away the grit where the battery goes, and it starts working like gold. Anything else, put a little rubbing alcohol on it. Use an eraser. If that doesn't cut it, scratch it up a little bit. Get that connection going again. That's the secret. And this, oh my gosh, bright orange fluorescent paint. You're like, Scott, what are you going to use that for? Out in the garden, okay? Out in the garden, I'm pulling weeds, and I got that tool, that long wooden holder, and it's got a long end to it with two little prongs on the end that you dig out stubborn weeds. You can usually pull the weeds out, but you got to dig it out occasionally. And I'm digging, and I laid it down, and I got my 5-gallon bucket. I was throwing it in, and I had some weed killer that I was squirting on it in the bucket, and I was throwing the weeds in the bucket. Simple, right? Had rubber gloves on, some work gloves by Scott brand. Okay, gardeners, you move around. I got my little knead pads. I got the from Ace Hardware. They're great. They're smaller than the ones you get everywhere else. They got the logo on top, so you put your knee on the logo, so you know the dirty end that's going on the ground is the other end. Got 2 of them. I carry them around with me. And if I want to put my hand out, I can put it on that one and kneel down on the other one. It's great having the small ones. And if you have some of that metal trimming, you put both of them down and you get your knee right up over the metal trimming, and it doesn't hurt your knee. You know, you can reach in there and grab some grass and rip it out and make everything pretty. Just do a little circle around the house and you're done. So I'm circling and circling. Get to the other side of the house, and I need the weed tool. Reach in the bucket, it's not there. I've got to mow the grass. Grass is getting pretty high. I start circling back around, looking all over the grass. I can't find the tool. And it's metal. And it's about it's almost a foot long. It's not a foot, but it's about a foot long. And I can't mow the grass with that thing in the grass, because that thing will just kick out and kill somebody, especially me, and rip my leg open or something. And there's a hole. I got an Ego lawnmower, and the hole is in the back. So the thing would shoot out the back, through the bagger, which is just cloth, and into my leg. Easy peasy, right? Couldn't find it, went back and forth over that grass. Finally found it. I had ventured off into the tree bark area where the plants are that your wife plants all over the place. And in there, that thing with the cream handle and the gray trim painted kind of metal shaft, it had kind of just blended in, disappeared. So I put a blue cord on it, paracord type thing, burned the ends so they wouldn't unfray, and got a loop on it so I could stick my hand through it if I had to, but it's really for the blue cord. Put a little whiteout trim circle around the middle of the thing, just on the handle, just to give it a little bright color. And I said, I'm going to go to the store and get some red, orange. I'm going to get some kind of paint and touch this up, and then anything else I'm out here working with, give it a little touch up. I'd added a string with a pair of scissors, cheap scissors, plastic handled scissors, just cheap. But if you get, some kind of weed or something that's hard to pull out, and it would look good, just give it a snip, and it's even with everything else, and that's fine. Just need a pair of scissors. So I tied it with a cord so that it was on the bucket, so when I dumped the bucket into the debris to be taken out later, it would not fall in because it's on a cord. And it's cheap if something happened to it, or if it rusted or something. So I may give that a touch of spray, but it doesn't really need it because it's not that valuable. not too worried about it unless it came loose. Now I kind of, you know how it melts when you burn that paracord? Well, I triple knotted it, and I gave it a little burn too, so it would kind of melt together, making it hard to take apart again. Hopefully it won't get brittle and break off. But fluorescent orange, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I need. Because I want to turn around that yard and find that stupid thing again the next time I do it. Because I was, going from place to place, digging, and I had the tool out, and I was using it. And, when grass grows to seed, I had a little bare spot. I'd been digging into the ground and shoving that seed into the ground, trying to get some grass to grow to see if that would work. So I had the tool with me constantly. I was just toying around with certain areas to see what would happen, come back in a couple of weeks and see how it went. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot afford to lose this tool, and especially with the grasses getting higher. And I could not find it. It was amazing. I was circling the yard, back and forth, and finally, there it was. And I didn't want to tell my wife, like, I lost the tool somewhere. And she'd be like, yeah, can't look like too big of an idiot. So, dads, this could be a message for you. I'll put it in my dad playlist for you guys, okay? This is like good to have. And you got something that needs scrape a little rust or crud off. You got batteries have corroded on something, just clean it up. Put a little vinegar and salt on it to get the acid off. And clean it real good. And let it air dry. In the summertime, it'll air dry. And scrape it clean and rub a little alcohol on it, a little rubbing alcohol. You can use an eraser. It's like your garage door opener. When you take that sucker apart, it's going to have little metal contacts. Or your remote control on your TV. Take that thing apart if it's got buttons. It's going to have little contacts, and you can just wipe those things off nice and clean on both ends, just to make sure the contacts are really good. And change the battery, and you'll be perfect. You'll be great. Okay? So that's the deal. That's what we're going to do. That's why we got this. Going to come in handy. All right. Happy Lowe's shopping. I just in there looking at everything. Guys love to look at Lowe's. That's a nice store for them. The girls hit 95% of the stores at the mall, so guys get Lowe's and Home Depot, right? That's just the way it works. I was looking at my Ego lawnmower. I said, there's my lawnmower, my weed eater, my trimmer, my edger, the weed eater. I got those three. I don't have the leaf blower yet. They say online the best thing to do is wait until one of your batteries goes bad. It gives up, and then you get the leaf blower, and the cost of the leaf blower, the batteries are expensive. So you might as well just get the leaf blower and throw in the battery's thrown in, you got yourself a new battery. But for right now, I'm still using a cord to do the leaf blowing, and that's all right. It's cool to zip around with the electric stuff, no cords. It's kind of neat. Highly recommend Ego. I got a guy online. He had done tests on all the electric stuff, and Ego came out #1, and Milwaukee was right there with it. So those are the two brands to look for, and nothing else, because he didn't get great ratings to much of anything else. He was very happy with Milwaukee and Ego. And in our neighborhood, Lowe's is nearby, Ego's everywhere. I was being told when I moved in, and if you're going to mow the grass, get you an Ego. And I was like, a what? And they were like mowing everywhere. Every one I looked at almost had an Ego. And I was like, jeez. I was like, okay, I'll get an Ego. So, and they have different ones. They have the cheap one that I got. I'm cheap. And it's good enough. It's good enough. It mows. But they have the double-bladed kind with the self-propelled. And it's Florida, so it's pretty flat. So I wasn't really worried about that. It's a small yard. But you get the blade with the cup on it, and that creates lift in the grass. And then the second blade chops it off good and mulches it up, And that's why that's the way to go, to get one of those. Even if you have to change the blade out yourself, they say. That's the way to go. So do what you want. But like, subscribe, and share. And dads, have a great day at your Lowe's. When you get out of the house, you're not playing golf or something like that, you're going out, just hang around Lowe's. Just go in there Have a great day. Bye.